today's video, I'm going into, do you forgive or do you smooth over situations? And so continuing on the theme of forgiveness this week, I was thinking about this one situation where I would smooth over things and I would call it forgiveness, but I don't know if it's really forgiveness or just wanting kind of this desperately needing to have connection with others. So I'll share a little story and I'm curious, like, do you do these kind of things and why do we do them? So for me, it was years ago. I moved to France and loved it there, but at the same time, every step of the way was a struggle. And while part of it was that I didn't speak French, it also was that I was afraid of looking wrong and looking stupid and messing up. And so, really, it was like every step of the way, I was afraid of what people were going to think. And I really didn't not want to look wrong. But that's a side story. The real story is that in the community of friends I had, we were all foreigners. We were all getting settled into living there in France. And so we were all going through similar steps. And one of the guys I became really good friends with, came really close with, and we got into this cycle where I would start to get desperate and clingy because I needed validation from others. I needed approval. And he was one that I kind of latched onto, like, I need this from you. Well, he would then get to a point of like, no, no, I'm not doing this. So we would get into this huge arguments and blow up at each other and, separate, go our own ways for a bit. But at the same time, it was like, well, we're part of this community of friends. And I was also, was struggling with my own things of getting settled into France. I needed this community. I wanted this friendship. And I wanted him still to validate me. So I would each time go back and apologize, even though I was the one that felt so hurt each time. Like each time he would be like, nope, nope, I don't want this. I don't want this. He would pull away. And in that pulling away was such hurt in myself. Like I felt so not wanted and not liked and not worthy. Like it kind of shattered my worth because, again, I was defining my worth by outside of me, not from inside. But I share all of that story because each time I would smooth things over by saying, hey, sorry, everything's cool. Like I would just kind of be like, everything's fine, everything's smoothed over. But I still felt super hurt, like really hurt for how I was treated. And yes, I did contribute to this situation and I did get desperate and clingy and he would push away. So I know that that was the cycle that we were in, or I did learn after time. At the time, it was the cycle that I kept doing, and I kept needing to learn that lesson. But it still hurt for me at the time. And so I was the one hurt, but I forgave. And so I look at that and I'm like, well, what is forgiveness in this? And I don't know that I actually truly was forgiving. I was smoothing over things so that I could maintain this connection and this community of friends. Now, it really wasn't true forgiveness because I still felt the hurt in myself. And at a certain point, I did move away, and we haven't communicated since, which actually at the time I was desperately clingy. I didn't need to keep repeating that cycle anymore. And I did actually learn the lessons in this, and now I probably would not be looking to him and grabbing on to what I was desperately needing, that worth or validation and those things from him. But again, going back to this idea of forgiveness to smoothing over things, are there situations that you can see in this story too, of like maybe you're in a similar pattern of, oh, you get hurt, but you smooth things over? And it's like, yeah, you can do that to maintain this kind of connection, but is it truly satisfying? Is it truly, like a happy place to be in? For me, it really was a struggle. It really was. And I was desperately trying to get my worth from others. And that actually really wasn't the key. Like, the key is actually to find your worth within, to find and know your own value and worth, which I do have a coaching program you can check out in the dialog box below, which I really do go into finding you. And that finding you is finding your worth, like stepping into knowing your value, your worth, and really being able to find it within, rather than getting into a pattern like this, a cycle like this, and being like, oh, I need it from them. And then they're like, nope, 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 I'm not, this is too much. Like, it's too much for me. So they push away. But again, I wonder, like, is that really forgiveness? For me, it was kind of excusing. Like, I'm excusing this situation and I'm just letting it pass. It didn't really happen, but I didn't really get that forgiveness inside of me. So I'd be curious if you two have similar situations. Do put in the comments below of, like, are there things that you smooth over? Are there things that you don't really see as forgiveness because you still feel the hurt in yourself? So thank you again for joining me today. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. And if you are enjoying and getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. And thank you. I'll see you in the next video.